Today we're going to look at Acts chapter 23, and we're going to see that Paul is going to continue to be put before leaders and rulers and judges to not only defend himself, but more importantly, to share the gospel. Now at this point, Paul is sitting in front of the high council, and these were Jewish spiritual leaders. Some of them were Sadducees, and some of them were Pharisees, as it says in verse 6. And so he said, "Brothers, I am a Pharisee, as were my ancestors, and I'm on trial because my hope is in the resurrection of the dead." Now, this is an interesting passage, and it shows us just how clever Paul really is, because yes, he was a Pharisee, and of course, Pharisees believed in resurrection from the dead, whereas Sadducees didn't believe in that. So we see even for Jews 2,000 years ago, they loved to debate theological differences. But the reason Paul brings this up is as a bridge into the gospel, because after all, the resurrection of Jesus Christ is central to the message of Christianity. Now, this divided the council, and the Pharisees and the Sadducees were pitted against each other, and Paul probably had a pretty good time watching them duke it out. And verse 11 says that later that night, the Lord appeared to Paul to encourage him, and he said, "Paul, just as you've been a witness to me here in Jerusalem, you must preach the good news in Rome as well." Now remember, at this point, Paul is a man on a mission. He'd already been warned a couple chapters ago by this prophet Agabus that he was going to be thrown in prison, and sure enough, it looks like it's heading this way. In fact, God appears personally to him to tell him this is exactly what's going to happen, not just in Jerusalem, but also in Rome. So as you read the rest of this chapter, pay attention to Paul's troubles and trials. In fact, they're going to hatch a plot to kill Paul, but none of it's going to happen because God has got this. God knows exactly what he's doing, and his whole goal is to put Paul before more and more people until finally he's going to end up in Rome sharing the gospel even there. So go ahead and read chapter 23, and we'll see you tomorrow for chapter 24.